Gambling's supposed to be entertainment, but for some of us, like myself, it becomes an addiction. If you've reached the point in your gambling where you are just sick and tired of going through the same exact situation of wins followed by losses followed by debts, then this video is the perfect video for you. I'm going to be talking about one way that you can make it insanely difficult for you to go and gamble, because we all know that if you're trying to quit gambling, there's going to be temptations along the way trying to lure you back in. My name is Rob and I'm a recovering gambling addict. I made my last bet November the 12th of 2022. Now I create videos like this aimed at helping you to avoid making the same mistakes with your life that I made with mine. Smash that follow button to join our community and start to live a happier and healthier life today. So what is this magical process that I'm talking about today? Well, it's not that magical, but it is effective when used the correct way. And it's called self-exclusion. Essentially, self-exclusion is filling out paperwork to ban yourself voluntarily from the casino or sports book that you've been gambling at. Some places, they have self-exclusions where you click one button and you're banned from gambling in that whole state. In other places, you might have to do 100 different self-exclusions for it to be effective. The goal here is to give you a tool that will make it more difficult for you to gamble. Because if you're struggling with a gambling addiction, what's really going on in your brain is that you're craving these huge hits of pleasure that you're used to getting from a big win, or at least risking money. So someone with a gambling addiction doesn't want to get their pleasure from anywhere else. We just want to get it from gambling, which causes debts, as we don't stop gambling, and the longer you play, the more likely it is that you lose. This can cause relationship problems as you're lying to those around you. It can make you lose friends as you're not really caring about anyone else's problems but yourself. And of course, you're going to lose a ton of time and add a lot of stress to your life. Now, if you found yourself going down this path, it might be time to consider doing a self-exclusion. And I'm going to lay out exactly what you need to do in person and online. Now, why is a self-exclusion an important thing to do? In my video where I outlined the 4 steps that I employed to stay clean from gambling and get myself on a better path in life, self-exclusion was the 3rd step in the process. Of course, it wasn't the overall only solution, but it allows you to make the situation more difficult. In his book, Atomic Habits, author James Clear writes about how if you want to ditch a bad habit, you need to make it unseen. You need to make it difficult to access, so that you're not tempted in a moment of weakness to go right back to it. And that's exactly what a self-exclusion is helping you accomplish. It's making it more difficult for you to go and place that bet, because you might have a temptation, oh man, this game's on, I really want to gamble on it, knowing that if you start gambling on it, it's going to eventually spiral into a terrible situation. If you're self-excluded, you've bought yourself the time to think, do I actually want to make the decision that I'm about to make? The truth is, you'll always be able to gamble. You can get a VPN and find a different website if you're really wanting to do it. But for someone who's looking to quit and is just in a moment of weakness, a moment of temptation, a self-exclusion does wonders for giving you that space to think about whether or not you're making the right decision. Now, if you found yourself on the path in life with your gambling where you're ready to say, hey, I've had enough, then let me tell you exactly how to do a self-exclusion. So if you're looking to exclude at a physical casino, I've heard that this process is notoriously made to be embarrassing. What you're gonna basically have to do is go to the security desk of the casino and ask to be signed out of the casino. You are then escorted to the exit by the security team, which I think is a ridiculous thing to do. Some casinos, maybe they don't do that, but from what I've heard, this is pretty much the standard process to ensure that you leave the premises. It is a work in progress. Embarrassing people for making a decision that is going to yield a better health outcome for them in the long run just shows how little the casinos actually care about their gamblers. But anyways, you go in and you sign the paperwork, and it's a very straightforward process there. If it's not at the security desk, what you should do is go to the guest services window and ask them how you can fill out a self-exclusion form or make sure that you are signed out of the casino. Now, you might be asking yourself, what happens if I go and gamble again, like you walk back into the building after you've self-excluded from the casino? Well, it depends how much they're enforcing the policy, but essentially, you might walk in undetected. The problem lies when you cash out a win. So if you're there and you're self-excluded and you win a jackpot, they have to check your ID for verification and age verification compliance. But what they're really going to do is see that you're on the self-exclusion list, confiscate the winnings, kick you out, possibly sue you for trespassing, and then keep all that money. And the kicker, you will actually be forced to pay income taxes on that amount that you won. Now, this is all probably sounding very unappealing, and that's intentional, but it's also a good thing. If you're at the point where you're considering to do a self-exclusion, then you're at the point like I was, where your gambling has morphed into such a problem that someone needs to rip the band-aid off and you need to get yourself out of that situation. No one wants to have to exclude from something that they love to do, but if you've ever given the thought of, maybe I need to slow down, maybe I need to quit, then your gambling will eventually spiral into a problem. And this is the best thing that you can do for your health. Now, how do you do it online? Well, it gets a little bit less clear. So if you're in states like New Jersey, then there's state-based self-exclusion websites. You'll go to the government site, you'll click a couple buttons, type in your name, and boom, you're on an exclusion list for at least 5 years. Same with Illinois and a few other states. But some states, like Nevada, don't have a state-based self-exclusion list, and you will need to exclude from every institution that you play at. Now, where can you do this on a casino's website? It can be found in the Contact Us or the Responsible Gambling tabs of their websites. Responsible Gambling. What a stupid name. Responsible and gambling? It's an oxymoron. Anyways, politics aside, getting yourself on a self-exclusion list is just a few buttons through the Contact Us section or the Responsible Gambling page. You fill it out, and all of a sudden, you cannot sign up for a casino that is linked to your social security number. It's a very drastic step, but one that you should absolutely be seeking to take if you're looking to quit gambling. Because all you need to live a happier and healthier life is time away from gambling and a community. But the problem is, it's hard to stay away from gambling. Self-exclusion is one way to make it a little bit easier to do so. You're always going to be able to do it, but if you're on a self-exclusion list, it becomes exponentially more difficult for you to go back on your word to yourself of living a happier and healthier life. Some signs that you should be looking to stop gambling, because not everyone is addicted to gambling, but anyone can be, are that you're lying about how much you're gambling, you're hiding it from others, it's making you lose sleep, you're losing time from work or school because of it, you're feeling bad after you're gambling, and you're gambling on credit. These are some of the very obvious signs, and of course ones that I was expressing myself when I used to gamble for 6 to 8 hours every single day for 6 years. I know what lies on the other side of too many bets, and I'm really proud to say that I've self-excluded in my state of New Jersey, and it's really made an impact on my recovery, because when those temptations do arise, that little voice inside my head tells me that making a bet might be a good idea, I have to stop and think. And that's exactly what you'll be able to do once you fill out a self-exclusion for yourself. So if you've reached the point in your gambling where you're ready to hang it up, but you don't quite know what you need to do to quit, then check out this video where I lay out my entire plan that I used to get almost the last 600 days clean from gambling addiction. And until we figure it all out, let's just keep focusing on getting better together, one day at a time.